Hello, good evening. I'm your host tonight, Carlos Garcia with Star Pictures Miami. And tonight we have a special feature in store for you, the uh, almost total lunar eclipse tonight, the 27th of August. Uh, I am in Miami, Florida, and wanted to share this with you. Thank you so much for joining. And we've got, let me put this on our WhatsApp that we're live with Southern Cross Astronomical Society and let them know because originally this was scheduled for 10 p.m. And we're going to go live here. We're going to share the screen, share the entire screen. I believe we're sharing the screen there, and we're going to bring up the sea star, the star of the show. Here it is. That is a live view of the moon right now. It is 9:24 p.m. on the East Coast here from Miami, and should have the first point of contact here momentarily. That's when the first part of the shadow of the Earth will start to make contact with the edge of the moon. I'm going to put on here. Okay. Let's see here. Post this on, let's see. YouTube Live has started, period. Click on the link and you should be able to join and view. Okay, and we've got that there. Let me share that with some other people here at Southern Cross. Oh, I didn't share that on just the regular Southern Cross YouTube or the WhatsApp channel. I'm going to put that on there right now. That is the link for the YouTube Live for the Lunar Eclipse, which I've got the sea star on it right now. If you'd like to see it, just click the link. Okay, so there it is. The beautiful moon. And I'm gonna, let's see if we can maybe make this a little bit, there we go. If there's anybody that can join in on the chat, I'd be happy to chat with you about the moon and this particular lunar eclipse. I'm Carlos Garcia with Star Pictures Miami. You can follow me on Instagram at Star Pictures Miami on Instagram, or go to the website starpicturesmiami.com. I'll be posting the time lapse right now. The sea star is taking images. It's taking a time lapse. I've got it at 2-second intervals. So you see at the bottom here, as it's the little dial is going clockwise there. That's accounting for 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, it's taking an image, and it will stack those images and produce a real-time video, which should be about a minute and a half long by the time it's finished. This whole event is going to be a little over 4 hours. from the first point of contact all the way to the point where the shadow moves off the moon. So it will probably be well into 1 o'clock, past 1:30 in the morning by the time this is over. Actually, a little bit later. I was looking up on Gemini some details about that. And let me see what it says about the timing of the event. Let's see here. Lunar Eclipse says here, according to Gemini, Google's AI, says watch the moon turn deep red tonight. And let me see, let me go here. Looking at the let's see here. Okay. Penumbral phase starts. That means the shadow begins to creep over the moon. So we should see that shortly. It's supposed to be happening at right about now. It's 9:30. The second part is the partial eclipse begins. The umbral shadow takes a major bite out of the moon. Then totality, or close to totality, because it's not going to be a total lunar eclipse. It's going to cover 93% of the moon. So the maximum peak, deep crimson blue blood moon, that'll be at the moment of totality, or almost totality. So we've got that going. And let me check something out here. On the chat. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, we're live. I know we scheduled it for 10, but I got the scopes all set up outside. I've got the C-Star S30 out in the driveway. I've also set up my small visual scope, my Celestron 4SE Maxitoff scope, and it's tracking the moon now, so I don't have to sit there and guide it along. It's actually got the motor that's following the moon. So when I go out there, I should be dead center in the eyepiece. But we've got a very clear view of the moon right now. Let me see if I can upload some of the images that I took of the scopes and share those with you. Let's see here. Oh, yes, here we go. I'm going to select these. Okay. And we're going to open that. Okay, here is the first image. This is the C-Star that's live right now on in the driveway. It's the S30. I've got it on a tripod, and I've got it hooked up to a USB battery with a cable, as you can see that cable that's connected there. The battery on the C-Star are fully charged, and it is fully charged. It will last about 4.5 hours. This event is about 4.5 hours, so I definitely, to avoid it running out and dying towards the end, I hooked up a battery, so we should be good to go all night with that extra battery. Not that we'll go all night, we'll go to the end. I believe it's probably going to be like around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning by the time it's over. But I'm going to stick with it because I'm crazy like that. I did that last year out of my backyard, and it was phenomenal. That was 100% lunar eclipse. That was in March, I believe. I've got a video of it on my YouTube channel on Star Pictures Miami on YouTube. So then let's see, we want to see the other pictures here. We'll go, here is the celestial scope. That's little 4SC. I love this little scope. It's very small, portable, a lot lighter than the 8SC. That's the Celestron control arm. That's actually the control arm for my 8SC that I'm using with the 4SC. The 4SC arm is slightly smaller and it weighs about maybe 4 pounds less. That's on the tripod with a battery. Let's see, we've got, I'll show you another view. Here's the other view there by my daughter's car, her PT Cruiser, and there's the Celestron with the eyepiece. That's for the visual. So if I go out there right now, look in the eyepiece, should be able to see the moon, should be perfectly centered. This arm is actually a motorized arm that keeps track. Once I've aligned it with the moon and pointed it at the moon and have it centered in the eyepiece, I tell the scope it's centered, and it will follow the moon as long as there's battery life or it's connected to power. I can let it there all night, and I don't have to touch the scope. It will follow the moon, which is a wonderful thing. I don't have to manually adjust it or anything like that. Just walk over, look in the eyepiece, and there it is. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're going to go back to the sea star. Here's the moon. Right now, we've got a beautiful, I don't know, actually, I think tomorrow night is officially when it's going to be 100% full. It looks pretty full right now. It's very bright. My favorite feature on the moon, this massive impact called Tycho, right there in the bottom right quadrant of the moon. There is it's to me the largest impact crater on the moon. I know there are many others. There are thousands of impacts. Some very small, some huge, large as this. This is a massive impact, and that's what we've got right now. We're just waiting for the first part of the shadow to come over the moon. I also have a scope ready to go in Texas at my remote observatory in Big Bend, the Big Bend area of West Texas. There at that observatory, I've actually got 6 sea stars set up there, and I've got them available for rental. I've got customers that actually, I've got 5 of the 6 scopes rented out, and a couple members from Southern Cross, some other people, a gentleman from Washington State, another gentleman from Houston, Texas, that log into it every night and look and observe and do astrophotography with the sea star telescopes. It's a beautiful thing. It's possible to do that remotely. All you need is an app download on your phone to control the sea star. I give you the credentials to log in, and you have access to a remote telescope in the darkest area of the United States, the Big Bend area near the Big Bend National Park, which hugs the border with Mexico. Where the telescopes are located is literally about 150 yards from the Rio Grande. And you cross the Rio Grande and you're in Mexico. And it's very dark there. On a new moon, you can't see your hand in front of your face there. And it's that dark. So it's ideal for astrophotography. And It's great. So that's Easy Scopes. If you want more information about that, you can go to easyscopes.space. That is the website for the rental observatory. You saw the moon just make a little shift there. The scope kind of recalibrated or realigned there. Maybe something, the wind or something slightly, made a movement on the scope on the sea star, and it automatically realigned. So there we are. We've got the moon live, and we're waiting for the first visible contact of the shadow of the Earth. So what's happening is that the Earth is going to be directly between the sun and the moon, and the shadow that the Earth is casting on the moon will be visible over the next 4.5 hours. And to the point where it will almost cover the entire moon. It's going to cover 93% of the moon. And we should see the moon turn red, a blood red. It's been said. It's like I've seen it before several times. It is red. Sometimes it's deeper than other times. Tonight, I don't know, since it's not going to be 100% totality. We should have nice hues of red around 12:30 tonight. If you can't stay up all night, totally understandable. We all have to get up and go to work tomorrow and be responsible and pay our bills and everything. So I will go ahead and process the time lapse video of this and make this available tomorrow. So if you check back on starpicturesmiami.com tomorrow, or on the Instagram at starpicturesmiami, you will see the full time lapse of this capture with the Sea Star S30 here from Miami. We've got a very clear night on tap here in South Florida. Very happy about that. It's a wonderful thing. And it's 9:40. We are online. Let's see. In a perfect world, I'd choose watching the moon over work any day. Me too. Thank you very much for that comment. We love the moon. The moon is beautiful. A lot of people love the moon. I love the moon. I love the moon more when it's a new moon. And I think everybody in this hobby of astrophotography or astronomy, visual astronomy, can agree with me. The moon is beautiful, but when you're trying to get images and take images with a telescope, with a camera, the moon is not your friend, because especially a full moon like it almost is tonight, it's a very, very bright light. I call it the floodlight in the night sky. And it really overpowers most everything that you're trying to look at. On nights when it is a full moon, and I want to take some images, I will usually concentrate on an area that's pointed away from the moon. So towards the north, the northwest, the northeast, but nothing to the southeast or south or southwest, because that's generally where the moon is going to be. It's going to cast a big shadow. It's going to really overexpose the night sky and not let you get high quality images. So if you're just joining us, I'm Carlos Garcia here with Star Pictures Miami, proud member of Southern Cross Astronomical Society here in Miami, Florida, second oldest astronomical society in the United States, founded in 1922 here in Miami, when it was very, very dark here in Miami back in the early 20s. There was no light pollution, or very little. It was just swampland out here, and a lot of mosquitoes and alligators, and a lot of darkness. So a lot of astronomers would make the trip down here, or if they lived close by, came down here, and it was very, very dark. Ideal conditions for astrophotography and visual astronomy. Back then, there was very little, if none of the astrophotography available, because they didn't have cameras back then. I know they used film cameras. I think, back starting in the 40s, using film cameras to take images through telescopes, and then eventually progressed to digital photography. And now we have very advanced cameras, like the camera in the Sea Star, which is viewing this beautiful image of the moon and capturing a time lapse right now of the moon. So when this is all done, it will stack all these individual images and make like a little minute and a half, 2 minute. It'll seem like a video of the full eclipse from the first point of contact all the way to the fourth point of contact, when the shadow moves off the surface of the moon. Today's the 27th of August. Right now, it's about 9:45 p.m. here on the East Coast in Miami. Thank you for joining, and I expect at 10 o'clock we should have some more people online. And while we're waiting, I will tell you that I just got back from Spain. Had a wonderful time in Spain. Went primarily for the eclipse, but we stayed for a few weeks in Spain. We went to Barcelona. We were in Valencia, in the region of Valencia, where we actually viewed the total solar eclipse, which was epic. My third eclipse, my wife and I went, also my brother and his wife went and joined us on the trip. It was an amazing event. And I was a little nervous there towards the end because it was cloudy that day. There were some clouds, but it cleared up magically. And if you'd like to see the images, I've posted that on starpicturesmiami.com. Let's go there now. Let's see here. We'll go to Star Pictures Miami. I just made this post today. And here it is. The totality is upon us in Spain. Here is a brief post, a description, video of the location where we were. We were on a mountaintop 3,000 feet above sea level with a clear, unobstructed view to the west. And we were able to capture, these are just a few images. This is a screenshot image from my Dwarf Mini telescope, which I took to Spain. Here's the Dwarf Mini that had set up on a rock, a couple of rocks. It was a very rocky hillside there, the mountaintop. And you could see off in the distance the eclipse as it was happening there, and was able to capture with this amazing little Dwarf Labs Mini. Just got that about a month ago. Outstanding little scope, punches above its weight. Let me tell you, I'm very impressed with it. The image quality is outstanding, very easy to use, and the best of all, it's very, very small. You can slip it into your pocket. If you're wearing like a windbreaker and you've got a pocket, you could slip it in there and nobody will notice that you've got a telescope, a high-powered telescope there. It's really unbelievable. And here's another image. This is a diamond ring image. That's the totality. I'll kind of zoom in there a little bit. That was the totality. There was a lot of prominence there on the left side and on the right side at the various moments of totality. But that was an amazing thing. So if you'd like to check out the post, you can go to starpicturesmiami.com and you can actually read more. I'm going to post more pictures. I haven't downloaded all the pictures yet from the Dwarf Mini, just captured these screenshots and whatnot, but I know some people wanted to check it out. So there it is. So back to the sea star, and there's the moon. We are waiting to get more of the shadow of the Earth as it is cast upon the moon, causing this eclipse. So should be a beautiful event. The weather looks very clear outside. Here's the wide field camera of the sea star. That bright circle there is the moon. That's a super wide field view. And then this is the main objective, or the main lens of the sea star on the moon there. And yes, you could see it from time to time. It looks like the moon moves a little bit. It's actually the scope making some small fine calibrations in the tracking to make sure that it's centered. So the beautiful thing about the sea star is it's fully automated. It's 100% automatic. Once you find the target, it centers the target, does the autofocus, then it's locked on all night if you want to leave it on there all night, and it will track it faithfully there. So we've got some there. It's making another movement there. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but we will see. We've got this set up here. Thank you for joining us. We've got a few people on. You could say hi in the chat, give a little heart or a like there. Let me know you're engaged there with the visual on YouTube. My name is Carlos Garcia, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I know there's quite a few people doing live streams tonight. It's all the rave now, with everyone having all these digital telescopes and fancy cameras and fancy telescopes. It's quite easy, if you know what you're doing, to set up a live YouTube stream with like a sea star or a Dwarf Mini or any other smart telescope and capture these beautiful images of the moon. So that's what we've got right there. I'm taking time lapse video of the phases. So over the course of the next 4.5 hours, it will compile all these things. And I think that I'm starting to see on the left side, it should be coming in on the left side, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it's getting over here a little darker around this area. So I believe the shadow is coming in from the left side of the moon. It's a slow process. What would be cool is if an airplane flew in front of the moon. That would be epic. One time I was out with my sea star. I was just setting it up, and it was a full moon here in Kendall, not too far from my house, and an airplane, big jet airliner, flew right across the moon, and I had missed it by 2 seconds. I had turned on the sea star. It was ready to go, and I pressed record, but it was 2 seconds after the plane had gone by. It would have been an epic flyby of the moon. But I do have flybys of airplanes on the sun, which that was total coincidence. I was very fortunate to get that one image about maybe about a year ago. But yeah, here's the moon, and we've got a lot of different things going on with the sea star telescope. We've got this set up. I do have another telescope set up in West Texas with my second location, and I have actually, believe it or not, a third location in Rockwood, Texas, at Starfront Remote Observatories. That that was the first sea star ever set up at Starfront, and quite possibly the world. I set that up, and actually tomorrow, the 28th of August, will be my 2-year anniversary at Starfront Remote Observatories. That was something that had an idea, and I was very impressed with the Sea Star when I first got it in 2024, February 2024, and really was just very impressed with it. And I said, ideally this would be a much better experience in a darker area, darker place with darker skies and no light pollution. And will, uh, be able to use more of it. I mean, unfortunately, we buy telescopes here in Miami and other light polluted areas across the country and the world, and they sit inside in a closet because here in Miami it's cloudy, especially right now as we're getting out of the summer and approaching the fall. In the winter, it should be clearer, but we don't get to use our telescopes. So I said, I've got to figure out a way to be able to use the Sea Star in a dark sky and hook it up remotely. Long story short, I was able to send a Sea Star with a Mac Mini computer, figured out a way to control it remotely. And that was 2 years ago. Today, now, there are over 200 Sea Star users at Starfront. Um, so I'd like to think that I helped to usher in a new phase in astrophotography and a very affordable way to do remote astrophotography with ZWO Sea Star. That was tomorrow, the 28th of August, will be 2 years. And I've got a post on, again, starpicturesmiami.com. You can check it out there. So 5 more minutes and everybody, I think, should be coming online. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up my Dwarf Mini outside. So if you'll allow me, I'm going to go out there and get that set up. And I will be back in a few minutes. You can stay here and watch it's coming in on the left side for sure. It's darker over here on this left side. So this is where we're going to start to see the shadow come in over on the left side. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Please hang on, and I'll be back with you in just a few. Okay, I'm back. Got the dwarf mini set up out of the driveway, and I'll be sharing a couple of images. I've got it set up on the roof of my daughter's car. Oh yeah, you can see that shadow coming in the bottom left very clearly now. Thank you for joining. This is Carlos with Star Pictures Miami, and we are watching the moon live from Miami. This is the Sea Star S30 from my driveway here in Kendall, capturing the moon and this lunar eclipse on the 27th of August, 2026. And let's see where we are at. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I had to step out there just to make sure that everything was connected. Let's see here. All right. All right. Astro Kev. Yes, I will send all my frames to you so you can process them. Thank you very much, Kevin, for offering to do that. You're very good with PixInsight and SharpCap and all these other wonderful external post-processing programs. And Kevin is also at Starfront. I've got a telescope out there. So thank you, Christopher, for joining us. Kevin, we've got some other people online here, and it has started. There it is, the first point of contact. Unlike a solar eclipse, which I just witnessed in Spain, the edge is not sharp, where you can clearly see on a solar eclipse the moon covering the sun. It's very well defined. Here, it's like a light shadow coming in on the left bottom side. I would say the left bottom quadrant of the moon. That's where that's coming in, and it'll become more evident and clearer as the night progresses. This is a 4.5-hour event. It just started, about half an hour ago, a little over half an hour ago. And it will be beautiful. It eventually will cover 93% of the moon, and the moon will turn red. It is said a blood red. I don't know about blood red, but it definitely turns red. It's more like to me, like a red wine type of a red. It's not that deep, even though I have seen other lunar eclipses where the moon did turn a darker shade of red there last year. And you can see that on my website at Star Pictures Miami. But we've got the live view of the moon. This is live right now. It's 10:11 p.m. here on the east coast of Miami. And we are live with the moon. Okay. Let's do something here. Remove the wide field view. Oh. Very good. Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's clear in Miami. It's been cloudy. It's been raining. Today it rained earlier, and it looked not good earlier in the afternoon. But we looked at the forecast. I looked at Astrospherics, which is our go-to app for weather here in astro photography and astronomy, and it indicated it was going to be clear tonight, and it did not disappoint tonight. I usually look at Astrospheric, and I'll look at either the Weather Channel or Apple Weather, And if they both indicate clouds or clarity or something like that, usually that's with a lot of assurance it's going to be clear on a particular night. If one is indicating cloud cover and the other one says clear, 50-50 chance one of the two is going to be wrong, but not always. So definitely got a double positive today with clear weather forecast on Apple Weather and on Astrospherics. So thank you for joining us. You can clearly see the shadow starting to develop here on the left quadrant of the moon. This is a live view with the C-Star Smart Telescope in Miami, Florida, in my driveway right now. I just had gone outside previously before 10 and set up my Dwarf Mini telescope. I want to share that updated image. I'm going to send that image to my Mac computer so you can see what that looks like. It's a different telescope. Let me see here. I'm going to select this image, that image, and that image, and that image. And we're going to send these to the Mac. And there's the indication there. Open. All right. So there is the Dwarf Mini on the on the roof of my daughter's car, her PT Cruiser, and it is set up there. I've got it hooked up with a USB battery. You see the white cable that's leading this little black box. That's a USB battery. The battery on the Dwarf Mini is fully charged. That usually runs about four hours or so. But since this is going to be about 4.5 hour event, I didn't want to, have to connect a battery when it's halfway through a time lapse image session. So I just connected the USB battery. It's good for 8 or 9 hours, or this basically all night. So that's the Dwarf Labs Mini, which I just got about a month and a half ago. I am very impressed with this little telescope. It is so small. It almost fits like in the palm of your hand. And what it is able to capture is simply amazing. Very small, very affordable, under $400, and just a fantastic little product. I used it to capture the eclipse in Spain. I wanted to travel ultralight. I didn't want to take tripods and all kinds of, optical tubes and batteries and eyepieces and cameras and all that jazz. So I went ultralight with this thing, and it did not disappoint. Another image here. Here's a screenshot of the Dwarf Labs Mini. That's a little overexposed there, but this is what the dashboard of the Dwarf Mini looks like. And then we've got another image of the Dwarf Mini as it's actually with the arm opened up and pointed at the moon. And you can see the cable with the USB battery there. And then we've got the wide angle shot with all three scopes right here. We've got my Celestron here on the left. For the visual, I've got that tracking. I went out there, looked in the eyepiece, boom, it's tracking the moon. I don't have to touch it. I can go out there any moment and see the moon perfectly centered in the eyepiece. Here's the star of the show tonight, the C-Star on the right. Here, this white unit there on the tripod, hooked up also with a USB battery. So that'll go about 8 or 9 hours. And on the top of the car is the Dwarf Mini on the roof of the car. And there it is. And you can see a little squish, mellow stuffed animal my daughter has in her car. And that is set up tonight here in Kendall in Miami, Florida, August 27th for the Lunar Eclipse. And let's see what we've got here. Let's chase that out, and let's go to actually, I want to show you the post on the solar eclipse from Spain. Just got back from Spain yesterday. On the 12th of August was an amazing event. The total solar eclipse. I've got a post that I just created this morning on starpicturesmiami.com. There's some images there. There's a video. We were at an elevation of over 3,000 feet above sea level. It was an amazing, amazing event. My third total solar. My wife and I were officially eclipse hunters now, or eclipse junkies. We're already going to be going to North Africa in 27. August 2nd of next year is they say the 1 in 100 year eclipse over parts of southern Spain and Cadiz, over the Strait of Gibraltar and into northern Africa and Egypt. Egypt is going to be the place to be. It's going to have a 6-minute totality. 6 minutes. This one was a minute and 40 seconds, I believe, of totality. If you were dead center in the path of totality, the one next year on August 2nd will be 6 minutes. That's why they're calling it the eclipse of the century. And we're not going to miss that. Plus, I've got a friend in Zimbabwe, and I've got a telescope down in Zimbabwe. We'll be going down to Zimbabwe and Kariba and hanging out there with John and his wife and his kids, and very much looking forward to that. Very, very much, John. So get ready, brother. We're going to do the eclipse up in Africa big time. And getting back to the sea star, there it is. Now, you can definitely see that shadow coming in the lower left quadrant of the moon. There, it is very obvious, very clear. We've got that going on. We've got it moving across. I think that tonight, from almost anywhere in Miami and South Florida, you should be able to go outside and see this. Unlike a solar eclipse, you don't need any eye protection to view this lunar eclipse. It's perfectly safe to just go outside and view it. So if you are outside and you're watching this, if it's clear where you are, go outside, take a look at it. The ideal time is going to be around 12:30 tonight, in a couple of hours, where the moon will be practically 100% covered, actually 93%, and it will turn red, which will be amazing. It is something very, very amazing. All right. Yes, you can see the moon. It's a huge view. Yes, definitely. And can I see this in WV? WV, wide view. I can zoom in a little bit. There, I'm zoomed in. There is the moon. I've just zoomed in on the screen because right now I've got it doing a time lapse. I've got the Seastar S30 smart telescope out on the driveway, capturing a time lapse with, I believe, 1 second intervals. Yeah, 1 second intervals. And there, I'll zoom back out. So we've got the live view of the moon. Totally amazing. Totally amazing. And in a little bit, I'm going to log into one of the sea stars out in Big Bend in West Texas. We'll have a view from over there. But since we're on the East Coast, we are able to see this, an hour before they are seeing it in Central Time out in West Texas. Thank you for joining tonight. We've got several people online. Thank you all for participating. Tell your friends. And I'm going to remind my daughter to tell her friends. Let's see here. There it is. Just sent that out. Yeah, it's happening right now. Look at that. You can see that shadow. I'm just waiting for an airplane to go in front of the moon. That would be so epic if we had, because I'm about a mile away from Miami Executive Airport, aka Tamiami Airport, and I can hear little Cessnas taking off every few minutes or so. And sometimes a Cessna will fly, or an airplane. I've had jets fly across the moon. I've never been able to capture that with the Sea Star, but tonight, since we're going to be live for 4.5 hours, maybe it'll happen tonight. Maybe tonight's the night. Get an airplane going across the moon with a lunar eclipse. Wow, that would make my week for sure. In the eclipse, the solar eclipse in Spain, it was an amazing event. I mean, the eclipse was just simply amazing, breathtaking. My brother and his wife, was the first time they'd ever seen an eclipse. They were absolutely blown away by it, as most people are the first time they see it. But what made it especially um, memorable was that same night was the highlights of the highlight of the Perseids meteor shower. So that very night, so we had the eclipse in the early evening, and then that night we had dinner. Then we went out to a hilltop. We were in this little town called Coves de Roma in Valencia, little town of about 2,000 people. Great little, tiny little town. And there was a big hill behind the Airbnb. We drove up to the top of the hill, and we watched the Perseids meteor shower. So we got a twofer that day: the total solar eclipse and the Perseids meteor shower that night. Epic. It was just like a dream come true. It was phenomenal. And now we have this beautiful lunar eclipse live from Miami, the moon over Miami. That's what we've got tonight. You are witnessing it here on the 27th of August, 2026. 93% the moon will be covered. And you could definitely see the shadow coming in on the left side there. I suspect in about another hour or so, we should probably have like 70% of the moon covered up. And it will turn red, ladies and gentlemen. Blood red, as the graphic says on my link for the YouTube Live. Watch the moon turn blood red before your very eyes here. So if you're joining us and you're in an area, hopefully that you can see it tonight. If it's clear where you are, go outside, take a look at this. Especially the highlight is when it is red, without a doubt. And that's going to be around 12:30, 12:15, just after midnight. It'll be red. And if you've never seen this, you definitely have to go outside, set an alarm if you got to wake up. if you just go outside for 5 minutes and look at it and see the red moon, you will never forget that. Snap a picture of it with your iPhone, your smartphone, and that'll be with you forever. It's something that not a lot of people get to see. We have these lunar eclipses, generally like once a year, and it usually is around or very near a full moon. Tonight, the moon looks full. It's not 100% full. It's about 98, 99% full. Tomorrow, Friday, the 28th, is when it will be an official full moon. And then it will start to wane and lose its luminosity over the next 10 nights after Friday, and eventually end up in a new moon and get out of the way so we can take beautiful pictures of galaxies and star clusters and nebulae all over the night sky. Because you see, the moon, as beautiful as it is, it's a floodlight in the night sky. When you're trying to take images and pictures of deep space objects like galaxies and star clusters, the moon is so bright because it's reflecting all the light from the sun, and it is just beaming it down onto us, and it makes it very difficult to get good quality, detailed, highly defined images. But we love the moon, and you could start to see. Here it is. Let me zoom in a little bit. See this bottom part here? Now it's getting really dark over here on this edge right here. So this is now it's going to start to get interesting here. And that's where we are with the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where we're at here. I wish I could bring up the Dwarf Mini. Hello from the hammocks. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The hammocks is about 5 miles west of us here in Kendall. Maybe not so much, maybe about 3 miles. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm sure where you are in the hammocks, it's very clear tonight. So you can go outside and take a look. But if you have to go to bed and you can't stay up, don't worry. I am capturing this in a time lapse with one of my C-Star telescopes, and tomorrow I will post this time lapse. It will be beautiful. And it is happening. It is happening. Oh, you're right next to the airport. Okay. Yeah, the airport is pretty lit up over there. I'm about a mile away from the airport, kind of northeast of the airport of Miami Executive Airport, which is Tamiami Airport, formerly Tamiami Airport. And it is quite lit up. There's a lot of airplanes, especially in the morning after 8 a.m. taking off, especially on the weekends and Saturday and Sundays. I guess the flight schools get all booked up with students and whatnot. So there's a lot of small aircraft. Tonight, there's been quite a few Cessnas and small airplanes taking off, though in the last 10 minutes or so, it's really died down. It's gotten very quiet. But here is the moon. And the lunar eclipse is happening right before our very eyes. Thank you for joining. You can see this bottom edge in the right there. See how dark it is? It almost looks like flat right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. See that? Right there. So this is very, very interesting. Very interesting to see this and witness this. And these are very actually kind of common. At least once a year, we have a lunar eclipse that's visible from somewhere in the United States. This year it's 93%. Last year got 100%. It was in March of last year. That was a phenomenal one. I did that from my back patio. You can see a video of that on my YouTube channel. And that was something that was really, really special. I was able to capture a time lapse of that. And that was really an amazing, amazing event. In fact, I'm going to pull that up because I shared that on the WhatsApp with Southern Cross. Let's see here. Yeah, right here. Okay, where is that? Put that on here someplace. Oh, anyways, we'll find it later. There's the moon. The eclipse is happening. We've got 3 telescopes out in the driveway on this event. Right now, let me show you what we've got here. We've got, let's see here. Is it this one? Yes, let's see this one here. Here's the Sea Star. This is the main scope, the one that's actually capturing the image that I'm broadcasting tonight. This is a Sea Star S30 on a tripod, and it's pointed at the moon. That was earlier this evening, about an hour ago. Here's my Celestron telescope. This is a visual telescope. I got this set up, and you know, my daughters, any neighbors that want to come by, take a look, they're welcome to look in the eyepiece there and see the moon. This is a tracking system, so it actually is tracking the moon. No need to make any adjustments. You just walk up to it, look in the eyepiece, and boom, there's the full view of the moon with a lot of detail. Great scope. And then we've got another view of the Celestron right there. That's a great little visual scope. It's very small, gets great images, very portable, light, and easy to take around. And actually, you can travel with this. I've got a version of this, a manual version with just a carbon fiber tripod, very light, very sturdy stand, a manual alt-as arm. It's not automated. It's not electronic. The advantage of that is I don't have to hook up cables and batteries. It's small. It's somewhat light, and then just 3 components: the optical tube, the mount, the manual mount, and the tripod. And I can fit all of that in a backpack and take that anywhere for visual astronomy. And with the Sea Star or the Dwarf Mini, have the best of both worlds, have 2 scopes available. So let's go back to the Sea Star, and here we are, folks. Live view of the lunar eclipse, and you can see that shadow's getting dark on the left bottom side. And we've got this going on right now. Thank you for joining us. Say hello in the chat if you'd like. If you have any questions for me, please, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, or refer to Gemini for some more accurate information. And we've got a live view, and right now it's 10:37 p.m. That means it's 9:37 in Big Bend, West Texas. So it's getting dark over there right now. Let's have a little looky at what's going on in Texas. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. It's dark. And let's look at this is a camera that I've got set up over there. Here's what I call my all sky camera. It's a little USB camera, just pointed straight up at the sky. And you could see that we've got stars, a couple small little clouds over there in West Texas. But soon I will be logging into the telescope in West Texas. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. From my iPhone. And I'll share that on the screen here. Let me log into that right now. Go there. Let's see. We want to go over here. Log out of that. Then log into let's log into one. There we are. And momentarily, we're going to be live with a sea star in West Texas here. Okay. It's going to be the highlight, the blood red moon at about 12:15 a.m. Okay. So we are connected here to West Texas, and I'm going to log into. I'm going to put it back on the meantime, back on the sea star here. That is a live view of the moon and the lunar eclipse as it's happening. Kind of looks like a olive, doesn't it? On the left side, bottom quadrant there, that's the little olive part there. Looks kind of cool. So I'm going to bring up the moon in Texas. Let's see if it's high enough. If we go there, it's in the east. Let's have a look there. Go to the moon. Thank you for joining tonight. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm with starpicturesmiami.com. That's my website. On Instagram at Star Pictures Miami. Also a proud member of Southern Cross Astronomical Society. For more information on our astronomy group here in Miami, you can visit the website scas.org. scas.org. So right now I've got a sea star trying to find the moon in Texas. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, unfortunately, in Starfront, at Starfront in Rockwood, it's the weather's looking kind of dicey over there tonight. Lots of clouds and whatnot. So probably a no-go there in Rockwood tonight. Even though they are going to open the roofs and let people try to capture this event. I'm going to try to capture it myself here with the okay. Oh, there is a little bit of a cloud. I've got the wide angle. Oh, there's a little bit of clouds. We'll just wait for the light band of clouds to pass in Texas, and we'll share that. In fact, I think I can bring that up. on my phone here. Okay. Turn off the phone here and then connect. You'll be able to see my iPhone here momentarily. Okay, that's a sea star right now in Texas. Let me move this over a little bit. Oh, a little bit too fast. Bring this back over. Oh. Bring a little bit there. Very sensitive. I'm going to bring this in and hopefully get a view momentarily in Texas. But in the meantime, we'll get back to the main event here with a sea star in the driveway. There it is, the lunar eclipse. That's from my driveway right now with a sea star S30. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please like the video and make a comment, or you could post on the chat something if you have a question or a comment. Let us know where you're at tonight, where you're viewing from. Let's see here. Oh, people are sending some pictures to me via WhatsApp. This is wonderful. So we've got it going on here. Yes, 10:30, the partial eclipse begins. That's already started. And at 12:12 a.m., maximum eclipse, peak coverage, the moon may look coppery, orange, or reddish. And then the partial eclipse ends at 1:51 a.m. So I'll be up till 2 a.m. But that's okay. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make for you guys. And we'll have a beautiful time lapse of this event available tomorrow on Instagram at Star Pictures Miami. So tonight I'll probably download it and post it up on Instagram and YouTube so you can watch it. You know, if you have to cut out early, totally understandable. Hey, we've got things we got to do. Can't stay up all night. But there we are, watching the lunar eclipse of August 27th into August 28th. (2026). And you can see that clear line right there. If I zoom in a little bit more, it looks a little, not like a really sharp edge like on a solar eclipse. It's very clear, the edges. Here it's not so clear, it's just like a shadow, because after all, this is a shadow being cast by the Earth being right between the sun and the moon. So what's happening is the shadow of the Earth is being projected onto the almost nearly full moon, and that's what's causing this eclipse. So if you were on the sun, on the surface of the sun, that would not be possible. And you looked out at the moon would be eclipsed by the Earth. And that is, if we could see that, we'll never see that because we can't be on the sun. But if we had a satellite near the sun and look back, I remember last year, in March of 25, when the lunar eclipse, that was a full lunar eclipse that I captured here from Miami. Um, there was that company that launched the Firefly um, lander on the moon, and they successfully landed it upright on the surfaces of the moon. And it was able to capture the first ever, um, image of the shadow of the moon on the Earth, um, from the surface of the moon. They had the cameras pointed at the Earth from the moon, and you could see the it's kind of like this. It's like the lunar eclipse, but it was like an Earth eclipse. Um, the timing of that was amazing. I don't think that was by coincidence, but they had tried to and launched, I think, two previous landers that landed on the surface but landed lopsided, and they were not able to use all the instruments. That one that was successfully landed was able to capture that very famous image. So definitely, I'll try to look that up and share that with you guys. But we're live with the Sea Star right now, and you could see something that you don't get to see every day. You can see like a lot, like when it's a crescent on the moon, but not this like straight line shadow on the moon. I wouldn't say it's exactly perfectly straight, but pretty straight. Ooh, there might be some clouds. Let's look at the wide field. Oh yes, there's a slight haze. This is the wide field camera of the Sea Star. That white ball in the middle is the moon, and you could see there is a haze of clouds out there. Hopefully those will blow by pretty soon. But you could definitely see that you could see like a little haze around it now, and that's because of the clouds. Okay, I am going to actually share this. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Share this on the Starfront Discord server. There's people with telescopes and equipment from every corner of this planet over there at Starfront. Let's see here. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to throw it up on Starfront. I'm going to put here live with lunar eclipse. Eclipse from Miami. Okay, a little hazy there. Now you can see this kind of looks like a kind of a light powdery look. That's because there's clouds, and I'll show you the clouds. This is with a wide field camera on the S30. You can see this haze right now. I'm going to go outside and take a quick peek and see what's going on out there. I'll be right back. Let's see what we've got here. I'll be right back. Give you a little report on what's going on.
He's not on the live. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's making noises, farting noises in the background of the live. All right, I'm back. Yes, there is a cloud, but it's going to move out of the way. There's not. It's just like a lone wolf cloud. Let's go back to the view. There, yeah. It looks very impressive when you go outside visually and take a look at it, especially through the Celestron. I've got the Celestron, the eyepiece. It's a great view. Last year, I put my iPhone on a holder there, and it was great. Got a great images there. So that's a live view of the lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse was on the 12th of August. This is a lunar eclipse. I have a lot of activity. Had the solar eclipse in Spain that same night. The highlight of the Perseids meteor shower, which is the best meteor shower of the year. We were in a very dark area there. It was probably a Bortle 5. There where we were in this kind of remote town in Coves de Vinromà in the Valencia region. We're treated to this meteor shower afterwards. It was fantastic. It was really an amazing event. And then now we have this beautiful lunar eclipse here from Miami. Excuse me another second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And here we are with the lunar eclipse. That cloud is still hanging out there. It's getting clearer. That it's kind of an upper level wispy cloud there that's causing that kind of haziness around the moon. But it's all good. Let's see here where we're at. The website is starpicturesmiami.com. I'll post that in here. Star Pictures Miami.com. All right. Excellent. Thank you for joining tonight. The length of how long is the eclipse? Usually like 4.5 hours, to cover this eclipse. I'll go back. This is the main camera on the Sea Star. And I'm going to see if we can see it now from Texas. Let's have a looky. Oh, there it is. It is happening in Texas. Okay. So I'm going to project this on the screen. And we're going to have two views of the lunar eclipse. Let me bring this up here. Right there, connect. And there we are. We have now the view there of the S30 in Miami. And we've got a view of the other sea star in Texas right here. So we're looking at both views there. On the right is the my iPhone image of the sea star capturing the lunar eclipse from West Texas. On the left is the sea star here in my driveway. So let's see if we can maybe have that autofocus a little bit in Texas right now. This one is autofocusing there. And there we have it. So, yeah, let's see. We've got two things going on here. Let me get this out of the way. That's the weather forecast there. That's Astrospherics for tonight. Right now, that's where the location is in West Texas of easyscopes.space. My Sea-Star remote rental observatory. I've got 60 stars there. I've only got one available that's still available, which I've been kind of hanging on to it as my personal one, but I'm going to rent it out. So if anybody's interested, you can go to easyscopes.space. I have one left. It's an S30 mounted in EQ mode, and it's in a Bortle 2 night sky in West Texas. You can log in remotely from anywhere in the world. Very easy to do. And if you want some more information, you can email me starpicturesmiami@gmail.com and try it out. It's amazing. Every night, it's clear almost every night in West Texas right now. So much better weather than here in South Florida. So here we go. We're live. I'm going to make this bigger. There's the lunar eclipse with the sea star. Wait, this is the sea star in here in Miami. And I'm getting confused myself. Let's see if I go here, and this is the sea star in West Texas. Okay, so here we are. So if I go, let's see, I don't want to exit that. We are watching the lunar eclipse. Yeah, just flip the image because the shadow was on the left side. This is the wide field. There's still some clouds up there. This is the Miami view here from my driveway in Kendall of the Sea Star S30. Thank you for joining us, watching this lunar eclipse. It's going to turn blood red here in a little while, just after midnight, a little over an hour. We're going to see a blood red moon. So if you can hang out for that, please do. There we are. So that's what's going on right now. We do have that haze of the clouds. This is usually going to be a lot sharper there, but I think those clouds are going to go away. I'm hoping they'll go away pretty soon. So we're an hour and 45 minutes into the capture. And I'm taking a time lapse image of this event with the Sea Star S30. I also have my Dwarf Mini out there on the roof of my daughter's car capturing the moon in a time lapse as well, and that's on automatic pilot there, and that's also capturing some great images. And I'm going to check in on that here momentarily. Okay. Yeah, we're getting some great on my WhatsApp there for Southern Cross, getting some great images people are posting of the lunar eclipse. Amazing. Nice shot, Paul. Nice shot, Jose. Everybody's being treated to this clear weather here in Miami tonight. Kind of a rarity, but we'll take it because it's been very cloudy and raining and whatnot, very hot and humid here in South Florida. Can't wait for the fall to arrive and winter to be here. But it's going to be a great winter this year. I'm sure it's going to be very clear and cool. So we can go out to Everglades National Park and hopefully not have as many mosquitoes, because the mosquitoes don't like the cold and we don't like the mosquitoes. So definitely that's the time that I go down to Everglades National Park and Flamingo and take my telescopes. It's wonderful. People ask me a lot of times, where do I go, Carlos, to what's the darkest place I can go to take my telescope or my binoculars to look at the night sky, some star clusters, some galaxies like maybe Andromeda, some globular star clusters like M13. Two places. Everglades National Park is a wonderful place to go. The deeper you go into the park, the darker it gets. So from the entrance all the way to Flamingo is 32 miles. So that's quite a drive. If you go all the way to the end in Flamingo, that's a Bortle 2 in that campground at the end. Bortle 2, it's one of the darkest areas of all of Florida, is right there in the tip next to the Florida Bay there. If you go in the summertime, the mosquitoes will eat you alive. It is horrible. But in the wintertime, on a cool night that's below 50 degrees, the mosquitoes still try to come out. There's still a few of them, but nowhere near as many as in the summertime. And that's my favorite time to go. Second place is the Kirby Storter Roadside Park on the Tamiami Trail. It's exactly between Miami and Naples. So there is it's a little park there. It's not even a park. There's like a parking lot and some small covered pavilions there, and they have like a primitive bathroom toilet there that's open 24 hours, and you can go there. And that's where a lot of people from Southern Cross go there. I've been out there many times. It's a wonderful area. Um, Glad that Alligator Alcatraz has closed down, because that actually was causing a little bit of a glow, more so than what's visible from Miami. So if you look to the east, if you're at Kirby Storter Roadside Park, you'll see the glow of Miami. You look to the west, you'll see the glow of Naples. So it's directly in the middle, but it's very dark there. That's a great place. You could just park there. You could stay there all night. Um, it's I've had great experiences there for visual. You get the occasional weird thing, these snake hunters that go by with their pickup trucks and their LED lights, very bright, looking for around the edges in the parking lot, python snakes. And it's that's bad, because you get them, you're trying to preserve your vision there, so it's nice and dark, and you can look in your eyepiece and see beautiful things in your telescope or capture with your camera. And then these guys come by with these monster pickup trucks, and they got these heavy duty LED lights, and they're trying to spot some python snakes. There's bounties on those things, being paid by the state of Florida. But other than that, those are the two places: Everglades National Park, and the Everglades National Park. You could go in there; it's open 24 hours a day. I've had park rangers tell me uh, anybody can go in at night. There's no entrance fee. There's no one to collect a fee there. You just drive in. If you have a card, I have a park pass. You can drive in. Another great spot, if you don't want to go all the way to Flamingo, is the Mahogany Hammock Trail. Mahogany Hammock Trail's almost halfway to Flamingo, and that is a great spot. A beautiful, unobstructed view to the west there on the road leading to the parking lot area. Great place if you're trying to view anything to the west. That is a great, you could see right to the horizon from there, and there's no trees or obstructions in the way. We went a couple years ago to see the comet, the big comet, then, and it was just mind blowing to see it in that darkness. The tail on that comet was massive. But yeah, Mahogany Hammock Trail and Everglades National Park. Those are our top secret visual and astrophotography viewing locations. Don't tell anybody. All right. All right. We're watching the lunar eclipse here live with the Sea Star S30. Thank you for joining us. We've got, here's the time lapse from last year. Okay. So let me see here. So if I go this. Let me actually open this. This link here. Yeah. I'll show you what the time lapse is going to look like here on this video that I'll post in the chat here. I'm going to copy this, copy the link. I'm going to post it on the chat. And you'll be able to see what is going to be very similar to what you'll see tomorrow when I download the time lapse. Okay. All right, I'm going to post it on the chat. Oh. Let's see here. No. Okay. Here we go. Here's the link to the time lapse from last year. And let me do this right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are live with a sea star. You are witnessing the lunar eclipse from Miami with a sea star S30 smart telescope. Oh, Kevin, you're having some issues with your sea star. It says, you said here, I'm losing connectivity. I keep losing Wi-Fi signal from 2 feet away. I'd say connect via Bluetooth and stay within 15 or 20 feet of the sea star. All right, we got a great image there from Willie, who's on one of the sea stars in Big Bend, Texas at Easy Scopes. Nice image there, Willie. Very nice. I would imagine there's a lot of people tonight viewing this phenomenal event. And you can go outside if it's clear where you're at. Here in Miami, it happens to be pretty clear. Let me see if those clouds have moved away. Okay, here is the wide field camera on the C-Star S30. And it's not a great image, but that usually is that round light is the moon, and you could see how the shadow is covering it up there on the bottom side there. And then here is the full view there. So we're on a time lapse. We're up to 3,715 images on the time lapse. If you're interested to see what the time lapse is going to look like, I did post it on the chat on the YouTube live. That link there is, if you go to that, you'll see from last year the time lapse that I was able to capture of the full lunar eclipse. and all the way till it got red, and then it started, you know, ending there. But that was a 4.5 hour capture in that 1.5 minute video. So that's what this is going to look like, hopefully, tomorrow. You can check that out. Let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. We are watching, it's a little over 50% covered now by 12:15 in 55 minutes or so. We should have a blood red moon. Ooh, blood red moon. That's going to be interesting. If you've never seen it, it's definitely very, very cool. All right, my name is Carlos. I'm with Star Pictures Miami and Southern Cross Astronomical Society, and we're watching the lunar eclipse via a C-Star S30 telescope that's out of my driveway right now. I'm going to go outside and I want to have a visual look through the Celestron eyepiece. I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, so hang on. Let's see here. All right. Thank you for everyone who's joined. Yeah. And click on that link if you want to see that time lapse from last year's lunar eclipse. I think that was in March 13th of 25, I believe. All right, I'll be right back. Hey, Kevin. So what's going on here? You can't connect?
No, it's like I'm standing like 3 foot away from it. It just keeps on saying trying to connect to this Wi-Fi. Is there like a hard reset I can do? I don't want to. It's doing a time lapse right now. I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's still doing a time lapse if I'm not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still going. So I wouldn't restart it. Just let it go. Though you can't connect to it, it's still working. You know. Yeah. So it's designed to do that. I would just, I know you can't connect, but let it go all the way through, so you have a complete time lapse at the end, and then if you can't connect, then turn it off. And it'll save the time lapse images. But yeah, sometimes it's weird, man. It's I don't know. Maybe there's too many signals around you or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a thing too.
Yeah, but it is capturing it. Don't worry about that. It's capturing it. So
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm like 2 foot away from this thing. I've even put the phone like directly on top of it.
right.
And it's able to like you can get it. Like it's able to see like
Really? Yeah. Have you tried to restart your phone? Yeah. Try to restart your phone and see if it'll reconnect. Or try to connect with if you have an iPad or something else. Maybe. But it's imaging. I mean, it's work. It's still capturing. So, but hey, listen, I gotta get back to my YouTube live.
oh,
No worries, man. We'll talk later.
all right.
We got it. Bye-bye. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm back. And just went outside. It looks phenomenal in the eyepiece. I also want to share this image. I've got the Dwarf Mini live. I'm going to share that image with you guys right now. I'm going to pop that up for my. Let me turn this off here. There. And then we'll go over here and bring up the iPhone. Connect. Let me see if that's going to come up. It's a pretty sharp view of the moon right now. And maybe I can't see the Dwarf Mini join. Let's see if it'll work now. Connect. Okay, well, we'll skip that. Let me close the door over here. Okay. We're back. And this is getting close to the moon being red. Let's put that back. Here is the sea star. It's doing some recentering. There. Okay. That is a live view from the S30, that's out of my driveway right now. I've also got the Dwarf Mini. I did take a screenshot of the Dwarf Mini. I'm going to share that with you guys now. The Dwarf Mini. Here it is. Okay. Open. So there it is. There's the Dwarf Mini. That's the just a moment ago from the Dwarf Mini app on the iPhone. That's a screenshot. I'm taking that one with 3-second intervals, and we've an hour and 20 minutes into it, and it's got I don't know how many subframes, quite a few, hundreds on there, but that's the Dwarf Mini. Looking good on the Dwarf Mini. So going back to the Sea Star, there it is. So we're right now at about, I think 12:12 is when it's going to get as covered as it's going to be tonight, 93%, and then it should turn red. That's going to be exciting. It's beautiful. Tomorrow is actually the full moon. It looks full, but I believe right now, let me see what my moon app says. Let's check it out here. Okay, the moon app is saying that tonight it's actually 100% right now. The moon is actually I thought it was going to be 100% just after midnight, but technically it's 100% right now. The 27th. So it'll start waning, and eventually in about 12 days or so it'll be a new moon, and that'll be a wonderful thing because we can get some great images from our scopes here in Miami and in West Texas. All right, nice picture there. Manny Santana from Southern Cross. We've got a lot of people. And we are getting close to the totality, or as close to the totality as we're going to get. That's just a slither left, and we should, a little over half an hour away, should see the blood red moon. Thank you for joining tonight. We live on YouTube. If you want some more information, I'll be posting the time lapse, the completed time lapse, tomorrow at starpicturesmiami.com. That's the website, or on my Instagram at starpicturesmiami on Instagram and Facebook as well. So we've got that going on. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, some people's trying to say that it's starting to get red. Oh, it is starting to get a little red on the visual. Excellent. We're getting close, getting very close. Hello, Manny. Thank you for joining. Ooh, what happened to the image there? That's not good. Okay, there we go. I have it. Autofocus. And there we are. Okay. A lot of movement tonight on the Sea Star. It keeps readjusting the position. I don't know why. It's on a tripod. It's very steady. There's no wind outside. But I've got the Dwarf Mini, and the Dwarf Mini has been rock solid. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more detail there. I'll zoom back out. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully it's clear where you're at tonight. You can go outside in about half an hour and see a spectacular thing in the night sky. The moon will be red. Yes. The moon will be red. You can generally see these lunar eclipses once a year. You know, some are better than others. You probably heard my chihuahua in the background earlier. Because I step outside, he wants to go outside. I go inside, he wants to come inside. So, all right, we're getting close. It's August 27th, 2026. It's the lunar eclipse, and it's happening right now via my Sea Star S30 out in the driveway. And it's going to happen, and it is happening right now. So if you're curious about, how these telescopes work, I'll show you some images here. This is the Sea Star S30, the scope that's actually imaging the moon right now. This is a phenomenal unit, the S30, very small, compact, very powerful, and really enjoyed it. This model came out about a year and a half ago. Now they've released the S30 Pro, which has a better sensor, has more memory on the hard drive and whatnot. Same identical form factor, the same shell, but it's the S30 Pro. This S30, I believe, has been discontinued just recently. The S50 was also discontinued. That was the first one. And I own like 3 of those S50s. And phenomenal unit there. Now they've got the S50 Pro that was just announced on, I believe it was Tuesday. And I did place an order for that. I'm having that shipped out to a Starfront, and they're going to have that there because I've learned if I get a new telescope, and I have it here in Miami, I'm rarely going to get to use it. The weather here is not amenable to astrophotography. It is something that it's cloudy, the atmospheric conditions, it might look clear, but the scene conditions are poor, transparency is poor or below average. Out in Texas, clear skies, excellent above average scene conditions, above average transparency. It's crystal out there, and that's where I get to use my telescopes more often. So as soon as I have that S50 set up, I believe it's going to ship out in the first couple days of September. It'll arrive at Starfront, and that should be up and running. Hopefully, the S50, and I'll be doing a live YouTube live on the S50. A lot of people are very curious about it, and I want to be able to share that with you guys. So that's what we've got. We've got this going on. Yeah, let's see here. Kevin's having some connection issues with his S30. There's a firmware update that was just released yesterday, period. That might be the issue you're having. Wait till the image capture for tonight is done and do the firmware update, and everything should be back to normal. Okay, so that's where we're at here. We're going to go back to the moon, and here it is. That's a live view. It's amazing. I mean, it's just a slither left here, and we're looking at, let's see here, we're looking at 12:12, I believe. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting very, very close. I'm Carlos with Star Pictures Miami. Thank you for joining tonight. And let's see here where we've got. Yep, we're moments away. Okay. Sea-Star telescope generating this image. I've connected to it via the Wi-Fi of my house. It's got this thing called station mode. So once the telescope is connected to the app, and I'm running the app on my Mac mini computer. I have an M4 Mac mini, and the app is running on the Mac mini. It connects via the Wi-Fi to the Sea-Star, which is out in the driveway. So I've got a Wi-Fi extender out in the garage that reaches out to the whole front of the house. And the nice thing about that is that I don't have to be next to it or standing next to it with my phone via Bluetooth. And if I walk away from it, it loses connectivity. I can connect to it from any device that's on the same Wi-Fi as my home Wi-Fi. So if I was on my phone, it would connect via that, and I can walk around the house with the iPhone and still control the Sea-Star out in the front or in the backyard or anywhere on the property. All right, we're getting super close here. Let's see what atmospheric for weather tonight here in Miami. If we go here, we got home. Yeah, not great, but we do have this little open patch. As you can see, there's the seeing conditions. Transparency is cloudy. A seeing condition metric is average right now. At midnight, we got some clouds moving. Transparency poor, seeing above average. So seeing went up, but transparency is poor. So we are going to get some clouds around midnight, but this should be over before 1 a.m. So that's where we are. Now, if we go to Texas, and we can see where that is going, we can go over here and go to Easy Scopes, remote observatories, and right there, that red is where Rio Grande, there in West Texas. And this is what you want to see here. You want to see dark blue or light blue. Blue is your friend. So if we go to 11 here, there's no clouds. The conditions, transparency average, seeing average. If we go to 2 a.m., transparency average, seeing above average. And tomorrow at night looks like it's going to be very nice into Sunday. It's been very, very clear for the last few weeks here in Big Bend, or there in Big Bend. Loving having my scopes there. Also at Rockwood and at Starfront. But unfortunately tonight at Starfront, let's look at their location. It's a little cloudy over there. Wow, big clouds. So you can see that's where Rockwood, Texas is, and this is the weather. This white stuff, you don't want to see white anywhere on here. That's bad. But getting back to the main event, there is the slither that is left on the moon to be covered. As soon as that white patch is gone, the blood red moon will appear. And that's what we're all waiting for right now. Have some patience. We're only about 15, 20 minutes away. Well worth the wait, folks. Well worth the wait. And if you're outside, if you're still awake, go outside. Force yourself to stay up and take a look at this red moon that'll be here in about 20 minutes. Super, super memorable. And you don't get to see this very often. Once a year. Usually it happens very early in the morning, like the last one that I tried to capture. It happened at about 6:30 in the morning. It was already, the sun was coming up, or it's cloudy. I remember last year, the one in March 13th of 2025, the forecast was showing 100% cloud cover. I'll never forget it. And it was crystal clear all night, not a single cloud in the entire night sky. I sat there, I said, this is amazing. And I stayed with it for 4.5 hours, like I'm doing today. And it was phenomenal. It was definitely well worth it. So yeah, that's what we've got going on right now. Waiting for the totality. That's a word that's used with solar eclipses. Totality is being used here. Though, if we were on the surface of the sun and we look towards the moon, we would see an eclipse being generated by the Earth covering the moon. Obviously, we cannot be on the surface of the sun. It is our star. It's about 10,000 degrees, and that's not going to happen. But if it were possible, you would see something that I don't think any human will ever see. Maybe a satellite, close to the sun that could look back at the Earth and see that eclipse, the Earth eclipsing the moon, like the Firefly moonlander that landed last year was able to capture that image from the surface of the moon, looking out at the Earth and seeing that shadow being cast upon the Earth. That was an impressive image. All right. Right now we're at 2 hours and 29 minutes of the time lapse capture. We've got 4,491 subframes on the time lapse. And let's see what we've got. Here pretty soon, it's going to happen. I know that I've got one of my users over there at Easy Scopes in West Texas. He's doing a live podcast too to his followers. He's got a bunch of followers, and he's using the S30. They're in Big Bend. Actually, let me look and see if I can go on scope number 5. And see how that looks over there. Let's try that. So if we go up, we're on it here, so I can't. I could do it from my iPhone. Let's see. Let's log into number 5. Okay. Logging into number 5. I'll share my screen from my iPhone. I want to compare what it looks like from Big Bend compared to Miami. Let me go here. And go to the moon. Go to. All right, so the sea star out in Big Bend right now is looking for the moon. As soon as it finds it, I will share that with you on the screen. Okay. Let's see if it finds it. Okay, we're getting very close. I'd say it's not going to be 100%, 93%. So we're still, even at the maximum point of the quote totality, there's still going to be a very thin crescent there on the edge. There it is. Oh, wow, it found it. Okay. So I'm going to have it. I'm going to actually have it do a time lapse. We'll do it at 2-second intervals. We'll have it go for about another hour. Raw. Here we go. Okay. So I'll share with you the image from my iPhone, which is the sea star out of Big Bend. There it is. That's what it looks like from Texas. Let me get rid of all this stuff here. Get rid of all this. That's the weather. So that image there in the center of the screen is the iPhone in West Texas. Little slither left there should be turning red soon. So I'm capturing it now with 3 telescopes. The Sea Star S30 here in my driveway, the Dwarf Mini, the Dwarf Labs Mini on the hood of my daughter's car, and the Sea Star out in Big Bend, West Texas. So that should be interesting. Let's see if we go here. That's the L-Sky camera. See all those stars there? That's pointed straight up at the night sky. And you can kind of make out in the middle. If you look, this is just a USB camera, but you can see a little bit of the Milky Way right cutting across diagonally in the middle of this image. Let's see here. So if we go here on the, here's 3 scopes. Oh, you can't really see that. It's going to be hard to see. But those are the scopes in Big Bend. There's the moon in Big Bend on the Sea Star out in West Texas. Let's bring it back to Miami. Here's Miami. Okay. I'm going to go outside, take a look. It might be red already. Let me see. I'll be right back. Okay, it's red outside. Let's see here. This is, I just put the iPhone on the eyepiece. I'm going to share this image with you guys. Okay. Let me send this to the Mac. Here it is. This is the image that I just took with my iPhone on the eyepiece through the Celestron Visual Telescope. You see the bottom part of it is red already. The top part is a little slither. And that's the orientation looks weird. With the Celestron, we see it upside down because of the mirror bounces in there. So, but that's a pretty clear image, let me tell you, with just putting my iPhone up to the eyepiece. Look at that. You can see the Copernicus impact crater, Tycho in the red spot. They're amazing. I'm going to go back out there. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's pretty red. Let me tell you. Pretty red. With the dwarf, I got a screenshot of the dwarf mini. And that came out. That's doing a pretty good job there on the dwarf mini. So that's what it looks like outside through the visual telescope. Let's go back to the sea star. It's connecting. Oh, I wonder it's sideways. Why the hell is it sideways? There we go. Connect. Doesn't want to connect. Why? Let's try to connect local. Oh, LAN. Okay, let's bring up, in the meantime, this is the image from, I'm going to share, let's see here, on the dwarf mini. Okay. That's the dwarf mini, but let's have it go to the sea star out in Texas. That was just a minute ago through the eyepiece. That was on the left side. Pretty sharp image. Okay. There's just a little slither left. So let me see here. Why am I not able to connect here? Let me close this app and open it up again over here. I know what I can do. I can go over here and connect it. I'll be right back. I got to connect via the phone. And then All right, I'm back. Definitely go outside, take a look at it. It's red. It is red. So I'm going to try to connect to this one more time. If not, I'll have to just show the images that I captured another image there with the eyepiece. It was amazing. It's very red. Let's see here. I think we might have to try it from West Texas. So if we're connected here, log out. And let's see here. There we go. That is a great image. Wow, it's amazing. You could see all the striations of those impacts of the Copernicus impact and the Tycho. Kind of tough to get it centered, the camera on the iPhone, right over the dead center of the eyepiece. Not easy to do. Let's see here. Oh, now we're having some connectivity problems here with the sea stars. I think everybody's out there using their sea stars. They're overloading the network. But that's what we've got. We've got this beautiful image here tonight. Go outside and look at it. It's red. You could see it. If you've got a pair of binoculars, go outside, take a look. Amazing. Not every day you get to see this view of the moon. That it is, that's kind of like a orangish red. I wouldn't say that's blood red. It's blood red when it's 100%, but not tonight. Let's see if we go over here. And let's get on this YouTube. Let's see here. Get back on the YouTube. Okay. Yes, I am going to post it on Instagram. I'm going to post it on Instagram now. That's it. That's that's what it looks like. When it's covered up, because of the light and the way that the shadows interact with the moon, the refraction of the light makes it look red or orange like that, which is amazing. Let's go over to Insta. Let me see, I'm going to post that here. I'm going to put that there. Okay. There, there, there. Let's see. Lunar Eclipse, August 27th, 2026. Okay. There it is. Okay. So there we have it. That is amazing that we were able to capture this image. Go outside, it's still red. You can definitely see the red glow on the moon right now. Just really amazing. Look at all the detail. I'll zoom in here. Look at all the striations. These are just hundreds and hundreds of miles from that massive rock or meteor hit the earth. Hit the moon. And just look at all the lines going in every direction. Look at these impacts. This is the Copernicus impact over here. It's just amazing when you see that much detail on the moon. But that's what, with a good visual telescope, you can see it just like that's what it looks like exactly on the eyepiece, which is amazing. That's why nothing beats a visual telescope when you want to see detail like on the moon or on Jupiter or on Saturn. Those are the best things to look at. And some star clusters, of course. Very hard to see galaxies and nebulas. Those are very, very faint, very hard to see. But this is where we're at right now with the sea star. Oh, so yeah, we're having connectivity issues. I guess the the whole thing is overloaded. I'm going to try to get one last time. I'm going to try to get the Dwarf Labs Mini. Yeah, you can go on Instagram now and check out the images, the pictures that I posted of the eclipse. I still have to do the time lapse. I'm going to let it go all through the night for that. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, it's starting to turn it off. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Let's see if we can get the dwarf mini on the screen. It's got a great image. Let's connect there. It's connecting. There it is. Connect. No. Oh, everybody's having connectivity issues, including me tonight. All right. Can't connect to the dwarf. But maybe let's try to reconnect. Oh, new version. Wants to do a software update now? No, thanks. Should connect. I think the ZWO telescope network is overloaded right now. I believe so. So, well, that's the image that we've got tonight. It's been a beautiful evening. I'm still going to let the telescope continue to capture the time lapse until the shadow moves off of the moon. And I will download that onto the computer, edit it a little bit, clean it up, and share that with you as soon as I have it tomorrow morning. Again, thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been a lot of fun. If you want to check out the images, also I'll be posting them on the website, starpicturesmiami.com. That's starpicturesmiami.com, and Instagram at starpicturesmiami.com. If you'd like to check out our remote observatory, and if you have any questions, you can rent a Sea Star on the middle of Big Bend and access it from your iPhone anywhere. You can go to easyscopes.space. Easyscopes.space. Well, once again, thank you. I'm Carlos Garcia. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for joining, and we will see you soon online. Thank you.